I wish to extend greetings and friendly wishes to all who may encounter this Voyager and receive this message.
This is Mouse.
Compound 69, Compound 69, Compound 69.
I started watching his videos and I was blown away by the quality. They're like full-blown documentaries just sitting there for free on YouTube. I started to look more into his work and seen that he's been working on a book and a film exploring the experiences and politics of Mexico's migrant trail. He actually did this extremely dangerous migrant route by riding one of the most notorious freight trains in the world called La Bestia, or The Beast, and documented it in a 4-part series on his YouTube channel. I was so interested in this guy and why he's doing all of these dangerous missions of freight train hopping around the world. So I started chatting to him online and asked him to make a documentary about how he rationalised doing these questionable things. Like every video I watched of his, I was just thinking, like, what's going on in this man's brain? We ended up meeting and going on a bit of an interesting adventure together in my camper van Bert, which I will get to later in the video. Mouse also made a video of the trip which displays Bert as a luxury recreational vehicle.
Arguably the single greatest thing that occurred during this monumental year was this. The production and distribution of the 1989 eldest Talbot Express Autoquest 270. I mean, it's not that great.
Bert 2, this is the number 2 tour of the Bert Big 6912. Okay, hello and welcome to Bert tour number 2. Get a bit nice insulation on the ground. After getting to know him on the adventure, we sat down in a park and I questioned him about his life choices. So, Mouse, how did you start riding freight trains?
I was 16 and I flew to US because I met some girl on the internet. I talked to her and I didn't like her or anything, but she was talking to me all the time. She said, come visit me. There's 7 people in a single berth trailer with like ant nests in it and like the cat litters living underneath, and so I was like 10 cats underneath it. It was grim. I don't know how, but I read like Jack London. It's like 1930s, 1920s. He's like hobo, and it's like thousands of hobos or hundreds of thousands of hobos on the railroads. And then from there, somehow I Googled it and I seen some videos and stuff. Basically, I wanted to ride freight trains, and I spent like 2 weeks with this girl, and then there was like a little class 3 railroad. And so I just caught that on my own after a few attempts and rode it. And I had like this sleeping bag I had from when I was a kid and this little tiny backpack and nothing, like just a t-shirt and jumper. I was so cold on the train. And I rode it to Washington State. I fell asleep in my sleeping bag and I have no idea where the fuck we are, what time it is, how long we've been going. Shit's fucking scary now. I might be ahead of Canada or something. Anyways, I rode like 2 trains on my own. It was crazy. Then I hitchhike around. Since then I've ridden way over 50,000 miles of freight trains in like 25 countries. The reason I'm still doing it is because I ended up traveling for 3 months across the US, from Chicago to Seattle to like Utah, Las Vegas. We were going all the way across LA, and eventually I was in El Paso. We went to Mexico. My friend lived in Mexico City, so we rode south from Mexico City. It's nearly 1,000 miles, it's a long way. And a lot of crazy stuff happened, man. It was like a very different experience. And from there I start like exploring the migration in Mexico and spending a lot of time there. I've been a lot of times now and learned Spanish and things like this. You know, that's like my motivation at the moment, is that I was really interested in migration. It opened up to a lot of other things. And from there I went to write like a dissertation on like migration in Mexico, like politics wise, like all of the academic things, and just kept going back, traveling. I had a car there and stuff. Now I'm going to go study investigative journalism to like continue that journey, I guess.
On our trip, he told me so many crazy stories from his adventures through riding freight trains. I could tell he was constantly seeking risk and adventure, which was pretty much the motivation for this trip. The mission was to reach Deadmans Island and explore this weird surrounding area filled with abandoned sea forts and structures from past wars. We got in some sketchy situations, like when our boat started to deflate when attempting to get to this abandoned World War I German submarine. Mouse just brought this dodgy boat and decided just to go for it, and we thought it would be okay, but it wasn't.
Shitting myself right now if you think about what's happening. I really am, because I feel like this is deflating somehow.
This was when I first realised how much he actually loved risk. I feel like it played a big part in dictating the adventure. Like, he would just have a goal in his mind and just go for it without the proper planning or anything, like just have the idea and go. I'm going to be posting separate videos of the entire trip together, which will be linked in the description when available. I wanted to find out why he grew into desiring so much risk and suffering for pleasure, so I asked him about his upbringing as a child and what made him who he is today.
So I grew up in Birmingham, or in the south of Birmingham. Really normal working class childhood in some council estate, semi-detached house, and then grew up with my parents there. We didn't have much money, you know. I was having a difficult time with having ADHD and things like this in school. Even when I was young, when I was like 6 or 7, it started to become like a big problem. And then I got to high school. I think I stayed in high school for one and a half years. I think I punched a teacher. We got into a fight. I punched a teacher, and a few other things happened. It was out of control. I was running away every day. And that school just went so grim, they wanted to get rid of me. So I got sent to another school, and I had like a year there, everything going quite well. And then I was kicked out from that school. I don't really remember why. You know, I had a criminal record, I had a lot of things going wrong all the time, the police coming to my house. So I went to PRU school, if anyone knows what that is, pupil referral unit. It's when you legally, if you get in certain crimes or you're kicked out of too many schools, you have to go to a PRU school. So it has like prison cells in it. Everyone's fucked up in there, man. Like people from care homes and stuff. It's this scary place, actually. There was like some stabbing there with a screwdriver when I was there in someone's neck and things like that. But luckily, they had a really nice scheme. They sent me to alternative art school, a few other things. I was doing that whatever I want every day, like just wear my own clothes, they get a taxi to the school. Like I did music, I did art, stuff like that. And I did my GCSEs in a public library full of like homeless people, like puking on the carpet. So all of that was happening, so I didn't really have a real, like a normal education or like hang out with people my own age, you know. I was getting into a lot of trouble, but somehow, from there I managed to get into Central St Martin's, which is like pretty much, I guess, best art school in the UK. And it was just so great to be surrounded by whatever background they're from. I'm not really interested in like this upper class kind of ideologies, but whatever situation people are from all different parts of the world, there's very intelligent, motivated people. So that was really great for me. But you know, since I was a kid, it was really natural for me to like be involved in crime, and by mistake I'm, you know, just seeking this kind of risk and fulfillment. Having ADHD so much, it's a really different perspective to live in this world. It's like this world's not really like made for me in the way that people operate, in the way that you're supposed to behave. It's really difficult for someone with these kind of issues to like function successfully. You see a lot of people with ADHD and other issues like this end up with drug addicts and other things and involved in crime. Where I grew up in that PRU school, you know, I had friends die of overdoses, and I see them in long term in jail and stuff. And I'm so detached from that crowd now, do you know what I'm saying? Because I went to this art school with all these international students and really great, intelligent people, and where I grew up I had no one to relate to because I wanted more out of life. And I was interested in academics, even though I couldn't go to school. Because I felt like, what's wrong with me, you know? Because not only am I breaking the law and having so much troubles, like, you know, it's really by accident. I'm trying to behave, but everything's going wrong around me. I couldn't think about like the reasons why I would act this way. You know, you don't think before you behave with this issue. Lower. Just go, drop it down. There we go, that's good, that's good. Dude, I'm gonna blow into the sea. This is so stupid, dude. You gotta really feed the rope, because any resistance on this bad boy is... I don't know how to row, dude. Like, they're not in the hoops, so it's like...
We put them in the hoops.
My ass is soaked, man. You want to dry it on the fire.
You look comfortable.
Is that as far as it goes?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not good. Just keep filming, you're gonna have to.
Oh, don't fire it straight up here.
Just watch, it's gonna be fine. I'm a pirate, dude. Yo! It put me on the water!
Oh my god! Oh fuck! I'm getting in this room.
It is a firework, dude!
Eduardo was right.
I told you, man.
You fucking idiot.
That was horrible.
Did you blow up under water?
One nearly hit you.
That was scary.
Wait, is that?
Why was that a real firework? What the fuck? Did you see me? You were filming, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it went in the water because I was holding it backwards. Because the fuse end is the firing end,
Oh, really?
unlike a firearm. So I
That's-
lit it and it went into the water and then blew up under the water and made a huge bad little water move, man. You didn't see that, but you will see it on the camera.
One of them came.
Look, it's still
Yeah, you've
clear
got
in
like
the water.
little splashes on you.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, that's from the firework.
Man,
Mental.
it spooked me, man.
Now we've got to do one inside because that's sick. We'll do one in the basement or something where it's not as loud.
How was that?
That was terrible. Piece of this because you can walk back. Remember, you're fucked. Stealing like a Spotify account from someone in the US, and then she lives with her family. So basically, if anyone knows what Ram Ranch is, if you know what Ram Ranch is. And I'm basically like their fridge, and they have like a smart fridge that has like speakers in it, and there's also like a Samsung family hub. The living room speakers where her conservative Vietnam veteran father is in, playing like gay sex noises with a guy explaining how he likes to suck cock. Begging for cum, dude. That's what her dad's gonna love that shit. And here we go, full volume again. Let's quit playing. And look, they keep turning it off. I'm playing it. Oh, now they decided to keep it playing. No, turn me off. I can't stay on it. No, it's all, they keep cancelling it, but it worked. Hello? What do you mean? What do you mean?
No, I'm pissed off at you. Don't fucking do that.
Why?
Because my fucking stepdad and my stepbrother are out in the fucking kitchen.
Yeah, but think about it. It was a song about gay army veterans fucking, and
That's my other stepbrother.
and your stepbrother's gay and your dad's in the army.
He's
So
not-
overall, they can
Oh my
both
God,
relate to it.
Stop it.
But they can
You're
both.
not using the Spotify. And fuck you. Bye.
She was not friends with
Didn't
you.
like that one.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
So you don't have Spotify anymore?
No, that sucks. That actually sucks ass, dude.
You
Like,
don't
I
have-
actually really like Spotify and don't have unlimited data, so like it's really helpful to not have to put YouTube videos on. The main reason that time speeds up so quickly as you get older is obviously the novelty of every aspect of life wears off. So it's not just that your routine sets in more, but like, you know, just being alive as a human being, being in your own body every day becomes so normal. But I'm really struggling with that way of life and having this routine because I'm not very good at keeping a successful routine. So when I go out on these trips, and trains are such a good way because it's illegal and it's like a drug. You know, you wait for the train and the adrenaline comes and you have to steal this ride. It's like this big emotional rush and different feelings, and you know, all these things, different things are happening each time. And then it's over and it's like an addiction. That first time for me when I rode on my own with my childhood sleeping bag, and I was just some kid, and I got on the train on my own and I'm riding through it. It was so incredible going through these mountains. I had no idea where I was going, what was happening. I didn't have a phone. Every subsequent times like feels like less like of an experience, just normality. Like nothing in life is I'm finding exciting enough now. After like living through that experience, it's just so, I don't know, it's starting to feel so meaningless. But you do it just to find normality, like, and the rest of life is suffering so much because it's like just such a mundane experience day to day compared to living outside and riding the train. It's about every 3 months that I start getting like so uncomfortable with the way I'm living and that kind of sedentary nature that I just really want to get out of a trip, see something new. And just trains is so accessible to me, even though it's a very difficult thing to do. I know exactly where to go and I get on, and that journey is just given to me. In a lot of ways I almost regret that I did ride trains. It led to a lot of interesting things, it led to this part of my life, but I wish I could put this kind of adventure that's so unsustainable, like a drug addiction, man. Like, it's not good for you, it hurts you, and it's like I'm seeking it so much. No one can relate to that. If you have a girlfriend, if you meet someone, you live with someone, they can't relate to how you feel wanting to be outdoors like that. Why do you want to suffer? Why do you want to hurt yourself? That's what my mate told me. It's like, you're kind of torturing yourself. Why would you do this? Everyone has something to do. People go out clubbing and go and like do drugs and go and like find ways that aren't very healthy to like enjoy themselves. I don't do drugs. I don't really drink. You know, maybe I smoke cigarettes sometimes, but that's my escape from reality. You know, humans need it in this sick lifestyle we have that's so far detached from human nature in psychologically and how we want to behave. And not only all these structures and formalities where we have to restrain our emotions all the time and not behave like animals, and behave with dignity and like compassion, which isn't very natural to animals. You know, chimps pull their prey apart and eat them whilst they're still alive. People thought that nothing's good's gonna happen, I'm gonna end up in jail. The amount of times I heard that, like, it's been rough, and I'm trying to do really well now with my work, the best I can. You just gotta have a lot of ambition to do, you know, whatever it is. All the rules and confines of what you think is possible is just completely, like, not really real, if you ask me. I do want to just have as many experiences as possible, whether it's meeting people from different places, you know, just to understand human nature, what it is to be a human, but really, like, I'm just trying to, like, you know, make time go slower by having all these experiences. You look back on, there's a lot more memories to fill it. So, like, I have a lot of it's self-induced issues in my life. It's fucked. And it's really by accident, man. I just like everything to be, like, all the time full on. What I've been realizing recently, because I'm growing up now, and things that I could have done before, or experience I had, I know I can't do that again. That was one part of my life, people I met or experience I had, that's gone. That's gone, I gotta get serious now. Sometimes opportunities are gone and that's it, and you do get to a new stage in your life as you grow up, you know. So you gotta really just think, is this exactly what I wanna be doing? Because every day is so important. There's really not that many. There's no reincarnation, there's no nothing. This is your consciousness right now. You know, it's not perfect, but you just gotta do something. Not for enjoyment, but something for satisfaction. You know, I'm not trying to enjoy and feel good every day, because that's not sustainable. That's a mythical idea. You know, I want to do good for people, I want to help people, and I just work hard every day with what I think is important.
Even though Mouse is the most chaotic human I know, he does have a lot of ambition to work on projects that actually make a difference. I'm definitely not advocating freight train hopping, it's incredibly dangerous, so please don't do that. But if there's anything to take away from this video, it's that you shouldn't be scared to take risks and work on something that you actually believe in. Hello, welcome to Bert on the side of a motorway. What you just watched is a video from a series of documentaries I'm doing on interest in humans. They take a lot of time and effort to make, so if you'd like to support me, you can do so on Buy Me a Coffee. It's just like a website where you can pay what you want and you get access to some like other content on there, like I'll upload the full interview with Mouse, and I sometimes post some updates on there of like where I'm at and what I'm doing and stuff. I work as like a freelance filmmaker, so I don't get to work on these projects so much as I would like to, so if you support me then I'll be able to make more of these videos and do less boring work. As I mentioned at the start of the video, Mouse made a video about this trip and it's actually really good, so go have a look at that and his channel. He's got some interesting videos on there. We've been hanging out quite a lot and working on some interesting projects, like we just went to Iraq together to work on a big documentary, and we've got some fun plans for future projects like YouTube and not YouTube. So if you're interested, give us a follow on YouTube or social media or anything. And that's all for this one. Good bonk.
Goodbye. Goodbye to the people who hated on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. Realize I'm not the person I used to be. Now just